On today's episode, we're talking about finding your wedding photo vibe, style, substance, and setting expectations. Your wedding photo should feel like you, not a Pinterest board. Not someone else's dream day, but a reflection of your vibe, your story, and your joy.
In this episode of Offbeat On Point, we're diving deep into what it really means to find your wedding photography vibe. From understanding editing styles to setting realistic turnaround expectations, we're here to demystify the process and help you confidently choose a photographer who truly gets you.
We'll chat about how to find vendors who match your energy, what to know about post-production versus retouching, and why recreating a photo you found online doesn't always go as planned, and that's all right.
If you're feeling overwhelmed by choices or unsure how to explain what you want, this episode is packed with real talk, practical tips, and a little myth busting to help you navigate it all with confidence.
Hello everyone, welcome to Offbeat On Point,
where we are setting realistic expectations for your wedding day. I'm Daniella Koontz of Koontz Photography.
And I'm Jenn Ross of Jenn Ross Photography. All right, so we were just here a few days ago. We were recording episode 2. We're already back for episode 3 so soon.
So there's not much to talk about.
Not a whole lot to catch up on.
But there is, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Our last episode, I feel like we really went off track. Not really off track, but I didn't hit some things that I wanted to say. One of the things about where I said that not the person who shows up first on Google or at the top of a search is going to be the best option for you.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure they're great photographers, but it just might not work for you. The other thing is a lot of those best of is votes. It's based on votes. So
right, because you had mentioned pay to play.
I had mentioned pay to play, but I forgot to mention the ones that are votes. So if you're a big company with a lot of followers, you're going to get the most votes. So somebody who might be a smaller company or newer might be really good and might fit your vibe perfectly, but you might not see them show up as best of because they didn't have as many followers to vote for them.
Right. So, and they might be pumping out some like real quality over quantity. And like we had talked about those big national companies before, some of the ones that don't create those connections we had talked about might just book weddings and weddings and weddings and just pump out editing and not really look at it and not really care about you. And they just want more money.
But they also might have the following to get the most votes.
Yeah.
So you really have to do your own due diligence. You can't just trust who pops up first and who has the most votes.
Exactly.
So I just really want people to think about what they're doing and who they're hiring and not just listen to what pops up first on a search engine.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's a very important decision.
It's very important.
And my little bit of sweeping up housekeeping is just, I feel like I said a lot, so I'll try to be aware of that, but no promises.
Okay, so I wanted to continue on with what we were talking about before about finding the vendors to match your vibe.
Right.
I know I'm part of Offbeat Wed. It's been a blog. It's been online for about 20 years. Pretty much as long as I've been in business, they've been around. They used to be called Offbeat Wed. There was a book. It became a blog. A whole bunch of great stuff out there. So I'm on that website. So people who like Dungeons & Dragons, people who want to have a fairy wedding, all of those type of people generally read that blog. And so they can find me through it because I'm a preferred vendor on their list. Again, yes, it's something I pay for to be listed, but it helps me find my people and it helps my people find me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a part of naming this podcast
it really
too,
was.
Because you and I, we've said this already, we are not your typical wedding photographers. I've got tattoos. We like gothy stuff. We're looking for our people, and there's so many wedding photographers just in Central Florida. You can find your people. And it doesn't mean if you are cookie cutter, no tattoos, traditional wedding in a Catholic church vibe, it doesn't mean we don't want to photograph you. Right. But we are listed in other places than you might look normally for photos or for photographers. So that is a really cool website. If you have not checked it out,
definitely check it out.
Definitely
read their blogs. They're doing something now. It's really fun on their social media where they're posting old wedding photos and having you guess what year it was photographed.
Ooh, that's a fun game.
Because a lot of people are like, I want timeless wedding photos. But I'm sorry, a lot of things can be timeless.
Yeah.
And some of them have been hard to guess.
Right.
They just posted a steampunk one. And this is going to get a little personal for me. But the last photo showed Grant Imahara from Mythbusters. Did you ever watch that show?
I've seen it, yep.
Okay, well, he died in 2020.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I saw that.
I don't remember.
And I got really sad. And I was like, well, I know that this photo was taken before 2020.
Right.
You know?
Oh, bummer.
Bummer. But yeah, that's been really fun to follow and watch and try to guess. Because, editing styles change. photography
And
trends
come back.
change and come back.
Yeah, if you show me that like editorial forward flash image
Oh,
now,
yeah.
I'm not going to know if it was taken now or in 97.
True.
So
True.
we'd have to really look at the style of the clothes, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, but
Because now there's like a modern style with the old trends
the
coming
little
back.
heart cakes.
Oh, yeah, those little heart
Those
cakes,
little heart
yes.
cakes, that's such a thing.
My friend, if Caitlin, if you're out there listening, had gotten really on this. She wanted a heart cake so bad, and I've been following her wedding journey, and I get to go as a guest, so I'm super excited.
Is this the North Carolina?
Yes, I'm so excited. I cannot wait for this wedding. You have no idea. And I don't know what changed her mind, but at one point she made a post. She's like, "Nope, I'm off the heart cakes. Like, no, we're not doing it."
She get overwhelmed with it.
Maybe, or just like real. I don't know if she realized like the style was not her vibe, or the style of her wedding changed.
Well, I can't wait to see what she gets.
I know, and I haven't asked her yet. So,
I want to know.
Caitlin, if you're out there,
Caitlin, message
tell
us.
Tell us what your cake's gonna
I
look
know
like.
what your cake is.
But yeah, so that's a way to find wedding vendors and photographers. You can also use social media.
People are finding them on TikTok
everywhere.
I don't know how. What are they searching on TikTok to find wedding vendors? I don't know.
I mean, I guess just maybe Orlando wedding photographer.
Maybe,
hopefully,
'cause I post on it, but I'm not that. I post mostly on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we know there's a lot of people booking off of Instagram, but I think it's interesting to see how many are booking off TikTok.
Yeah. Guess my age by what social
where I'm
media
at.
platform I use the most.
I still like Facebook.
I still have Facebook. The other day I was like, does Facebook do reviews? God.
I find all my events are on Facebook though. Like I like the event tab
Right.
because I can keep track of
Yeah.
what my friends are doing and if I want to go to it or not. And
Yeah. If you're born in the late 1900s.
it has groups. There's so I'm Oregon Trail age.
I just don't think anyone's finding photographers on Facebook anymore. But it's okay.
It's okay.
But even while we're still looking on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Offbeat Wed, we're looking for reviews. We are reading testimonials carefully. Are they, when you read a testimonial from somebody, does it make you feel like it's real and genuine? Or does it sound like ChatGPT wrote it? Or it's just like, I had the best day ever, 5 stars. Why? I feel like when we get reviews that are like heartfelt, they're paragraphs long.
Right.
And they're just in love with us, and you can like read through that review that it's
So
they
people
really loved our
listening,
vibe.
If you're already married, please leave your vendors a review.
yes,
That means so much to us. It really does because it helps us find other people, backwards. It helps other people find us.
yes,
And it helps give us credibility because I could say all day long that I'm trusted
right,
and people love me and we have good experiences. But until you hear it from an actual person who used my services,
yes.
it's just me blowing wind.
And I love if I get a Google review, because we talked about this in one of the episodes, like where do we see reviews now? And it's like Google's the most prominent, Yelp maybe, BBB,
Wedding websites.
If I get a real review from my own client, because again, we work for a lot of people, some of our reviews come through those portals where we can't share it on our own websites because we photographed for another company. So if it's my own thing and I get these reviews that I ask for, I'm not ashamed to ask for reviews. I put a photo of that couple on my testimonials page, words, testimonials, on my website next to their photo. So not only is someone reading it, they're like, they see the photo of the couple.
Right.
It makes a real person connection there. And it's like, this is not
It's not us
AI.
just making up stuff either.
Exactly.
It was real.
Yeah.
It was a real wedding. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't create a Google account and leave myself a 5-star review.
God,
You know.
yes. I think another good way to meet vendors, not just photography, but wedding vendors in general, is the wedding shows. I personally don't enjoy doing them.
Right.
Because they cost a lot of money.
Yes, they do.
And not only do I have to pay to be there, I have to pay to have big prints made and framed and have lots of albums out for you guys to see. So I'm a one-person show. So that's a lot. And I used to do the thing where I'd frame and get everything professionally done. And then when you haul it back and forth, it gets busted up. And so I'd spend $200 to frame one thing. And then it would get busted in my car.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there's money down the drain.
Yeah. And with us being one-man shows for our own companies, it's a lot harder. We don't have a studio where we keep all of our stuff and it's hung on the walls. And as soon as we have a wedding show, we pull it off and it's on display when clients come in and talk to us.
Right.
If by
So-
chance I wanted to meet a client, you know, or a pre-booking meeting, I'm saying like, let's meet at Starbucks. Let's, you know,
Yeah,
so
same.
I don't have a place to display
Or we do Zoom
my
calls.
imagery or Zoom calls. Zoom calls are top notch.
Right. That's one of the good things to come out of the pandemic was
Chef's kiss.
not having to meet people in person,
Yeah.
not having to go to the doctor.
The more time I can spend in pajamas,
The better.
The better. So
Yeah. So you might not meet smaller companies at wedding shows, but you'll meet a good variety and you'll get that face-to-face contact.
I think that's almost
yeah.
more important than the imagery in certain
Mm-hmm.
aspects, because a lot of us, when you get to that level where you're paying for wedding shows or you're booking a lot throughout the year and you have a bunch of testimonials online, we can take a good photo.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about lighting and all that stuff. Put that aside. If you can't vibe with someone and have that conversation and feel like it's comfortable, or someone didn't pull up a topic out of thin air and now you're like, oh, our moralities don't align.
Ooh.
You know, we're maybe not gonna,
In this
maybe
climate,
we're
yeah.
not gonna vibe. So that's something to think of. And you can definitely see someone at that booth and go, okay, I like their photos, but God, I got a weird vibe from them. Or he seemed creepy, or
Yeah.
she was toxically positive or something.
Or she wouldn't shut up.
Or wouldn't shut up. And
I
now you can't
literally-
even ask questions.
I literally have
Move
a
on.
book that says "Shut up and sell more."
Oh, nice.
It is the whole book is about how stop trying to oversell your stuff
Mm-hmm.
and listen to what the client wants and what their vision is,
Right.
and then show them how you can provide that for them
That's amazing.
without sitting there being like, "I'm the best. I've got all these good reviews." You know, like instead
Right.
of talking and trying to sell them, just listen to what they're looking for.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that brings me to say we can also ask for recommendations from the people we know. It's kind of like
Yes.
word of mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the same thing of like, hey, you can ask someone who maybe didn't get married. Like, I saw you went to a wedding recently. Did you like the photos that you saw? Like, who was that photographer? Like, you could get info and pull vendors from all over the place, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Or like the other day, a wedding had my favorite DJ. It was so fun. I was telling all of my friends, I was like, man, I was ready to pack my gear up and go back up there and dance because I ended before the party ended.
oh, you texted me about that.
I
Yes,
did. I
you
texted
did.
you. I texted my husband. I texted a bunch of my friends. So I'm going to call her out because she is the best DJ in Central Florida. It's DJ Staz from
Our
DJ
DJ
rocks.
rocks. Oh my God. The all female
I
badass
love them.
DJing team.
Yeah, I wanted to go party.
Yeah, me too. You should have called me. I
All
would have
good
come and
music.
crashed
You should come
in my
crash.
pajamas. I would have been there like, let's go.
I'd been out. I wanted
Stasia
to
would have
dance.
loved it.
I wanted to dance so bad. So yeah, ask, or you know, if somebody's telling you about a great wedding that they went to, ask who the vendors were.
Yeah.
They might not know, but you know, it never hurts to ask.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's got a big logo on the front of their DJ
Right.
booth, then maybe
Yeah.
some people pay attention.
Maybe
Maybe
some
we're a little
people.
hyper fixated on it, but you never know.
We do notice things,
We do.
especially
And
if
some-
the food was good.
Oh, yes. We're big.
Yeah, wedding food.
We love food. When it's who's got the flaming donuts?
Oh, Arthur's.
Is that Arthur's?
Arthur's.
Mm.
Yes.
Give me flaming donuts.
Give me flaming donuts all night long. Those things are so good.
I love it.
And it's fun. It's like a show. It's like dinner and a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Dessert and a show.
I love it.
So great.
And they always save some for us or let us come through the line.
Yes,
They
I
never
love
say like,
them.
you have to wait till all the guests come through. But I want to move on. So at this point, you've gotten the vibe of your photographer. You've probably already booked them at this point.
Mhm.
And now you're getting to that stage of like, maybe you're signing contracts. They might be asking you or sending you questionnaires.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you have a Pinterest list?
Yeah, it's
Can
on
we
my
bring up the
questionnaire.
dreaded Pinterest list?
It's a love-hate relationship, though.
Is it love-hate for you?
Because I ask them for their Pinterest list because it generally gives me an overall feel of the vibe they're going for.
Okay.
So I will know if it's dark and moody or light and airy
Right.
or what their color scheme is and whatnot. So I do like it for that because it gives me just like a feel.
Right.
What I don't like about Pinterest is when they give me a photo Pinterest list.
Right.
And they
Of the shots they want.
Yes, and they expect me
Mhm.
to be able to get all of those shots,
Right.
which is physically impossible,
Mhm.
especially because it's not a styled shoot. I'm not going to stop the flow of the day
Right.
to be like, oh, look at this photo. We have to recreate this.
Yeah. Now a side note on that. If it is like a generational photo that you're trying to recreate, like you have like a picture of grandma and grandpa that were in this pose and then your parents, now you want to recreate it and maybe they're holding the photo and it's like an Inception like thing, great.
Well, yeah, I tell them one or two. Like pick your two.
But pose wise, like Pinterest should only be inspiration. This is my color palette. These are the kinds of flowers I like. I like 3-tiered cakes, so I'm going to give myself 5 3-tiered cakes to look at. It's not supposed to be, I want a pose where my left hand is on his right shoulder, and, you need to trust your photographer to know what poses you're going to look best in. And the light and how the light is and how everything is that day and that day only. So if you send me a photo of you kissing your partner on a mountaintop in Colorado and we are on a white sandy beach in flat ass Florida, I can't make that happen.
Can't make it happen. But I have had brides show me, they're like, I have a cathedral length veil, which if you don't know what that is, it's the one that goes all the way down to the floor and like down the eye. Like it's
miles long.
And they'll be like, this is the type of veil I have. So I really like these veil shots where they're like flowing in the wind and draped over you and whatnot. And I'm like, cool. Note in my head, she loves the veil shots. We're going to make sure we get veil shots.
But it's 80 mile an hour per wind. 80 mile an hour winds.
She doesn't even wear it because it's falling out of her head.
Right.
Yeah. But that's where it can be used in a good way, where you can be like, look, I love the veil shots here. So yeah, do the Pinterest list, but be realistic in knowing that we are photographing your day, not recreating
someone else's.
We're not recreating somebody else's day.
And I like that note of like, oh yeah, I have the veil. I like veil shots. Here's some ideas of veil shots, not I want this exact one.
Right.
Because it may not work. Oh, and sometimes we do get it like very close, but I don't want to be looking at my phone or even looking at, there's some people, photographers that put pose books online.
Yeah.
And I have seen photographers use them where they stop and we black out a lot as far as
Roomba mode.
We call it Roomba mode. So it's just when you're under stress of a wedding day. Sometimes it depends on, is it really hot outside? Have you drank enough water? Are there a lot of people asking you questions? Is there another vendor asking you how much longer you're going to spend doing this time? And your brain just can't even think of a pose. I could see me like whipping out a pose book, but I just feel like that takes too much time. Just try to regroup, refocus.
I've done it before, though, where I pulled up a photo to show them and be like, this is what I'm trying to get you guys to do, because they weren't understanding my words.
Oh, because we're dyslexic.
And I couldn't figure out an easier way to describe it. So I was like, see photo, copy this.
Yeah, like look at this, mirror that.
Mirror what they're doing in this photo.
You know how many times I've told you I've tried to like look at photographers who I love and aspire to be like online, and I'll be like, okay, if I was looking at this photo, I have to talk through like, okay, so you put your hand on his, and
how would
he
you
looks
pose
at
it?
you, and we have to kind of get our words around the image we're trying to create. So it can be difficult, and especially when you're, well, at least me, I have dyslexia.
Another thought, some of those photos are on Pinterest. So I've seen these photos where they like hang rings from fishing wire like in between their hands, and you know how long that is going to take to set up, and I have to remember to bring fishing wire.
Right.
And
it's not in our
the one I hate the most that gets sent to me, sorry for anybody who sent this to me, but I've already told you no, is there's like 2 wedding rings in the foreground, like in the sand, and then you can see the people in the background, and it's like I honestly don't know how to do that shot. I don't know if that's digital or AI or if it's 2 shots stacked together.
Could be.
I don't know how it's done, and I don't want to take the time to find out.
Well, I don't like it.
I don't like it either,
it looks old, and it looks like dorky. It's like when we had spot coloring or what was it called? Selective coloring. Like, this whole photo is black and white, but my bouquet's in color. That's the vibe I get from it, and it's cringy, and I don't think it's cool.
But sometimes I will try to do what they want because it is their day.
That is true.
Yes, the photography is my style and my vibe, but I will give people 1 or 2. You know? Because we
can only do so much.
I hate the flower bouquets around the lady's face.
Yeah, and I tried doing that.
I think it looks like the Kentucky Derby when the horse wins at the end, and it like has that like all those flowers around. But if the person
it looks like the garland.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm not going to tell
Yeah.
them no.
Or if the groomsmen want to do it with beer cans,
I
fuck
love
yeah.
that. Fuck yeah.
We're fucking doing that.
I've also had them, they want to put all the flower bouquets on like the train of the bride's dress, which is a very 1980s thing. And I'm like cringing
Yes.
the entire time because that is not in my list of photos to take.
No.
But if that is their one ask,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. We won't judge you too harshly.
I'm going to hate it.
Yeah.
But I'll do it.
And when we get to now that we've, figured out Pinterest wise what photos you want and we take those photos and now we're back home and we're starting to look at them and then we get reminded that you asked us to put those flowers on your veil. We're going to have to be editing these and choosing these images.
Look at them.
So what are we doing when we are in our post-production phase?
Okay, so
let's tell the peoples.
True. All photographers have different workflows. I mean, some of us have the same workflows, but most of us, we have a unique workflow that works for us. I think one of the biggest things I want people to know is that there is a difference between post-processing an image and retouching an image.
Yes.
And there's AI retouching now.
Creative editing.
So there's so much that goes into the back end that you need to think about. So for me, what comes in my packages is basic color correction and editing.
So telling like a layperson, what does that mean? You've put my wedding images into whatever content or software that you're using. What does basic editing mean?
Basic editing for me means that the white balance is going to be good, meaning your whites are going to be white. Your skin tones are going to be your skin tones. They're not going to be blue people.
Yep. Okay.
I hate that.
Yep. No avatar.
It'll be cropped so that, the lines are straight and we don't have any straggling things. But that's pretty much it for the basic editing. Like
exposure as well,
yeah,
right?
The exposure is right. Yeah. So it's going to be...
Yeah, because the way we shoot, too, the scene changes a lot. So you might start shooting... We shoot manual.
Full manual.
So full manual, sometimes an aperture priority, but we do not need to go into that for what I'm trying to say. But just if, like I said, there's cloud coverage at one point and then it's full sun. Right. So you might go, oh, shit. A couple of these photos are super overexposed. So you need to like adjust for it or leave it out completely.
Right. So we're trying to get consistency.
Yes, we want to get consistency.
From start to finish. You don't want all of these are too bright and all of these are too dark.
Exactly.
You want it all to look even.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's still going to look different because, like you said, some are going to be outside in full sun and some are going to be inside in the reception. But just across those sections, they all look the same.
Yeah, make it look seamless.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Now that's basic retouch, or that's basic editing.
That is what I call it post-production.
Yeah, because it is post-production.
And then, so for me, then I take some of my favorites and I do a little further touch-up. It's still not the full-on retouching. I'll do simple skin retouching, blemish removal, and sometimes I'll remove things like exit signs or a car in the background. Very small things, not huge. We're talking like, these are my favorite photos and I want them to represent what's going to go on my website or social media.
That's what I was going to ask. So are you doing that in, like, has your client requested that?
No.
Or that's you just going, I'm taking my personal time to make these look extra good because they're going on my socials.
Because they're going to be blogged or they're going to be shared with your wedding vendors. And I want them to show the best of my work.
Right.
So they're going to get a little more love.
So now are you ready for the client to see any of that and go, hey, can you retouch the rest of these photos? So because when you're delivering 700 to 1,200 images, that's when you get into an additional package cost. Am I right?
Fee. Yes. So the way I have it is all of my packages come with a certain amount of retouching that they can ask for. It can be like 5 to 10 images that they can go back in. And I've removed whole cars, like huge cars from the background. I've changed things, switched eyeballs. Somebody was blinking.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to take a face from another picture, stuff like that. So they can request those. So I recently went to Imaging USA, which is a national convention for photographers to come and learn things from other photographers. And so I picked up a trick from another photographer where she already has a package that you can add in right away that says, I will run all of the images through an AI software that I already have. And it retouches per image. It charges me per image to retouch it. And I can just do basic skin softening and blemish removal where I'm not having to touch every single photo and do it.
Which is so great.
So if you already know you have zits or something that you know is going to need editing, you can already purchase retouching on every single photo.
And that's fantastic.
And
That's a great
it's just a base price.
That's a great add-on. So we're still kind of in the realm of post-production and editing, but I want to cover like what does it mean to have black and white conversions, because I've had clients in the past. I'll deliver a gallery, right? It's just I've picked my images, I've edited them true to life, whatever you want to style you want to, say, and they'll come back and be like, "Oh, why are none of them in black and white?" A lot of people booking photographers don't understand that's going to be an additional thing as well. Or
depends.
is it something you include? Because
So
you can just copy paste, but it's not going to be, not every black and white is the same.
Right. So some of the companies I work for ask people ahead of time how much percentage do they want in black and white.
Oh, like 10, 15,
Right.
20. Yeah.
And generally what they do, I'm trying not to out them because we do sign NDAs. So I'm not saying
Right.
who does this.
Yeah, it's fine.
But all they do is they copy it and they put a filter on it and it's black and white. And it just looks trashy to me.
It's terrible.
Because editing in black and white is its own art form.
Yes.
Black and white should be emulating film. And we used to have, so changing from film to digital, the thing that I miss the most is black and white film. Like black and white film had character, it had personality, it had depth. It was the best thing about film to me.
Yeah, I agree.
And then trying to emulate that in the digital age has been hard.
Right.
It's not the same to me.
And if you're just slapping it on there and moving on.
Right. It doesn't look good.
It takes all the feeling away. And for years, even especially because I do a lot of live music photography, if I'm looking through a gallery, I don't care if it's a band, a wedding, a birthday party, there are sometimes like moments that you catch that you don't even realize you caught it while you were photographing it. If a photo makes me feel something on my screen at my house, I go black and white.
Yeah.
It has to be black and white.
There are certain moments like
and
that.
I will like create a virtual copy of it, make it black and white, but then I sit there and mess with it and mess with the grain.
Oh, yeah.
And the contrast and the shadows and how much of it, like there's I don't want to go over like all the different black and white things, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it's like you
well,
can't.
I have 3 different presets that are ones that I've already tweaked.
Right.
That I know I love.
Yeah.
But even all 3 of those give different feelings. So it just really depends on the moment. And I try to kind of keep all my black and whites in the gallery with that same preset that I've made. But yeah, like you're saying, sometimes the moment just calls for black and white. And so I do those automatically.
Yeah.
Sometimes I leave a color version and sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
Because I think the color version is trash.
Right.
So
yeah, that also is a factor. But you can't just convert it to black and white and walk away.
You can't.
It's kind of the main point. Sepia, we're not doing that, right?
Not really anymore. I call it chocolate. I have a black and white that has more brown undertones in it.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not quite sepia.
Right.
But it is a black and white that is
it's like a blend.
And I like it. It looks good. But again, it has its place. It doesn't work all the time.
Right.
So
you can't. I want to see your.
You want to see my chocolate?
Mixed chocolate. Yeah.
I like my chocolate.
So I think we want that consistency. Like Daniella just said, she wants her black and whites to be the same throughout multiple galleries as far as like a preset. So that way you're not just delivering this type of black and white to one client, this type of black and white to another, and
or
now they're not consistent.
In their own gallery.
Or within the gallery itself.
Gallery,
I do.
It's pretty much all the same black and white.
I do the same thing, but then I've also tried to kind of keep that consistent through multiple shoots. So now it's like it's black and white style.
Yeah.
So that's something that's really important. It's also just kind of reiterating the fact that we want that gallery to look consistent from start to finish, with lighting, with editing, with the style that we shoot in. A lot of people shoot Dutch angles. Do we want to talk about Dutch angles?
I hate Dutch angles.
Okay.
They work sometimes, but no.
Yeah.
But when you're booking your photographer, you need to know what their editing style is, because guess what? We're not changing.
Nope.
I don't do light and airy. I have tried. I don't understand it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It blows out your wedding dress.
Right.
It blows. I don't like it. So if you book me and ask for light and airy, it's going to look like
she's
trash.
going to refer you to me.
You're not even
But no,
light and
I'm in
airy.
between.
You're natural.
Yeah, I'm true to life.
You're
I think
true to life. I'm a true to life on the moodier side because I like my warm colors.
Yeah.
I'm definitely way warmer.
Mm-hmm.
I hate blue.
Yeah. I'm a little on the cooler side, but I don't think my people look blue.
No, your people don't look blue. Your skin tones are good. It's very,
Thanks.
very true to life.
Oh, well, thank you. It's
But we're
timeless. We
definitely-
call it timeless.
We're definitely not light and airy.
No.
So if you're
because light and
looking-
airy is like
It's like that washed
I don't
out,
think silky is the right word, but it's almost like
Yeah.
I'm looking at those images and I feel like Vaseline has been smeared across the screen. So when you are asking your photographer maybe to see a full gallery,
Yes.
you are looking for that consistent editing that we've been talking about this whole time.
Yeah, so you
The
look
color
for their black and white.
look
then,
for those-
too.
yes,
and
exactly.
how many is in black and white.
Right.
If you want more, you need to have a consultation with the photographer and see if that costs extra.
Right.
See if the retouching costs extra. So really understand what's included in your photography packages.
Yep.
It should be in the contract. If it's not in the contract, you need to ask these questions and make them put it in the contract.
Yep. And just like we've said previously in other episodes, no questions are stupid.
Right.
So no photographer is going to be offended if you say, if I want black and whites that you don't do normally, is it going to cost extra? They'll
Right.
answer you. They'll
And-
either say yes or no. Or they'll go, oh, I've never thought about that. Let me see what I can do. And they might do it for free that time because it's their first time being asked it.
Right. Just remember to be reasonable with your requests too. If it's
Mhm.
something you don't see in their galleries, then don't necessarily ask them to do it. What I'm trying to say is there is a photographer in Central Florida who's really cool, and she does all of this post-production work where she makes, like, she'll do a wedding in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter in
Right.
Universal,
Mhm.
and then she'll add in magic and twinkles and a whole bunch of Photoshop isn't a verb, but we use it as a verb.
Right. She's photoshopping
She's
it.
photoshopping it,
Which is amazing if that's...
which is amazing. But
hopefully she's charging
you
enough
can't
for it.
go to another photographer who doesn't do that and say, make my photos look like I'm a wizard in Harry
Right.
Potter.
I couldn't do that.
I probably could, but it's also not my style.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody were to come to me and be like, this is what I want, I'd be like, no, go see.
Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
just
I
gonna say
open
her
up-
name. Go see Image Maria.
Yeah, there you go. I open up Photoshop and it's like, I don't know her. So don't ask me for that shit.
Yeah. I try to keep Photoshop to a bare minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But that's, that would fall under a realistic or an unrealistic expectation.
Mhm.
Or it could also be there's a tattoo sticking out of your dress and it's in every single photo. It may
that's gonna cost extra to take
that's
out.
going to cost a lot because I know some photographers that are proficient in image removal and things, image removal, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like AI removal, Photoshop removal, and they will send those images out to a third party retouching service.
Which costs per image.
That costs a lot.
It does.
I work with somebody who mostly does, like, I'm not even kidding, like the cover of Billboard and Rolling Stone magazine, and he outsources his retouching.
Yeah.
So those are people who know how to do that perfectly well. I can't do it. And if I do it, it's not going to look good.
Yeah,
So-
it just depends if I can or not. But yeah,
Just know that comes with a price.
It's gonna cost extra
Mhm.
because, especially like you said, it's like 1,000 photos that might be delivered. And how
Right.
many are you in, and how many times do you have to do that?
And how many weird, like, angles is that tattoo maybe going to be, and your dress. And that's just one example. So
Right.
think of the myriad of options that you could
Which-
request.
If we had $1 for every time somebody said, "Can you make me look 10 pounds lighter?"
Oh, shut up. No, I'm going to make you look fatter. Like, what?
I always tell them, my response now, it shuts them up, is, "Of course I can, but that'll cost you extra. Are you going to pay for every photo that you're in?"
Yeah, and they go, no.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
So yeah, keep your request realistic
Yep.
and know what you're getting into before you book your photographer.
Exactly.
Like, know their editing style.
And then there's really no surprises. And we've already set the tone of this podcast. The theme of this podcast is setting realistic expectations.
Yeah.
So are we going to, in the delivery of these galleries to our clients, set that precedent right at the beginning? So there's no questions of how long does it take to get my photos
Right.
back? Why has it been 4 weeks from my wedding and I haven't seen a preview? I haven't. So let's get into that so they kind of know.
Yeah,
What to look
there's a
forward
bunch
to.
of different things that photographers do different things. So some send a sneak peek.
Mhm.
Some will deliver sneak peeks that day.
Right?
Some it'll be within a week. Some will be within 2 weeks. Some do it in a blog. Some do it in a text. Some do it in a sneak peek gallery that's going to look, it's going to mirror the feel of your full gallery.
Right.
There's a million different ways. And some do no sneak peeks at all. Like, you don't
Right.
get any photos until you get your full gallery.
Every photographer is different.
Every photographer is
so
different,
You need
so
to ask those
no.
questions.
Know what you're getting ahead of time. And if it's not in black and white, don't expect something else. Like,
Right?
don't call them up and be like, "How come I haven't seen any images? Where's
Mhm.
my sneak peek?"
Right.
If it's
It
not in
should-
your contract,
Yeah.
you're not going to get it.
Yep, it should be laid out beforehand. So that could also fall under when you book a national company or a studio.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you know what they are giving you. Read your contracts.
Yeah.
Ask questions and listen when they give answers, because not everybody should expect a sneak peek.
Right.
I have a lot of clients from a lot of different avenues texting me because I was their photographer on their wedding day. So now they have my phone number, like my personal phone
I'm always
number.
like, refer to your contract.
And they're like, hey, we haven't seen any photos yet. Okay, refer to your contract. Refer to the person who you paid.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. Call the office.
it's not always
Not
me.
me.
Yeah. If it's Jen Ross Photography, I'll tell you. And you shouldn't have those questions because I've already laid them out before you booked me.
Right. Because
So-
we have clear communication with our clients.
Right. But we're also just
We're just little
us.
people.
We're
Yeah.
just little peoples.
But also, why does it take so long to edit wedding photos after the wedding day?
Well, all the things we just covered. I mean, if we are taking out trash cans and removing people and switching faces because someone's eyes are closed, or we're adding in dragons, like that all takes time. And we work on multiple weddings at once.
Yeah.
When we have, I'll speak for myself here. I have 2 jobs. You have 18 full-time jobs. I don't even know. Like being a mom of 4 is one.
Of income, baby.
Yes, you gotta we hustle.
We hustle.
But we don't do the grind. Like, we still try to keep it.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
I'm going to digress. But with that, we are every weekend working on an event. So those weekends are piling up. So I am not going to put your photos ahead of someone 3 weeks prior.
Right.
I'm doing them in order. So we keep a detailed list of like who's seen previews, who has this, what part of it's being culled, what culling is just picking out what images are going to be edited. I have to step away from the computer and not see them for a day or two.
Or just looking at the screen for long periods of time. My watch is like, get up. You need to stand up. You need to move around. Stop looking at the screen. And then I will go and I'll edit during the daytime. And then I'll go back at night when it's darker. And I'm like, why do my colors look like this?
Oh, yeah.
You know, so then you're sitting there like, oh, I don't really like this.
Yeah,
And we get really picky.
editing at noon is a lot different than midnight.
Editing at midnight, yeah.
You know, and it depends on, like you said, how tired you are, how much we've had, what's our workload. Like, it's a lot. So,
And I get sick of looking at people's faces.
yeah. And then, God, there's so much more to that, too. Like, I feel like I recognize everyone out in the world because I was like, I've seen you at a wedding. I think I photographed you. I feel like you were the officiant and you were the vendor. And now it's like, oh, my God. I lose context of where I've seen people. I just had a couple come in to one of my part-time jobs and I was like, I just fucking did your wedding.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. And now you're in a different, like, it's so weird.
Phil and Aaron's wedding.
Yeah.
Where there was like 4 other couples that we had photographed.
And everyone, we should have
knew half the people there.
And they're like, they did our wedding. And then we walk past another, they did our wedding. And we're like, fuck yeah, we did. Why did we not take a big group photo?
We really should have taken a group photo.
We really needed that proof. I'm not saying that won't ever happen again. But that was pretty amazing. That was the first time that had happened.
That was fun. Because normally we'd see like one couple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one couple's
like 4 couples that we've photographed.
Yeah.
That was so
And also all within the last year.
Yeah.
Like it happened.
Yeah.
Everyone, I was like, I'm still going to call you the wrong name. You were April 19th and you were March 1st. I'm going to go by the dates.
You were at this venue. You were at that venue.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's awful. But so anyway, we're getting off track now, but that's all right. I feel like we have covered everything. Is there anything else we need to talk about on this part?
I think so. I just think you need to have clear communication, make sure that you match the person's vibe, like that you guys get along, that you understand what their editing style is like.
Yeah.
Those are the main things. Just do due diligence when picking your wedding vendors.
And once you're at that point, it should be smooth sailing. I feel like I wanted to say this on the last episode and I didn't say it. I might say it multiple times in the future. On the wedding day, you get what you give us.
Yes.
Because how many times have we set all of these expectations for the types of photos people want, the inspo, the Pinterest list, and just when things go off timeline, things get cut, couples change their mind, something else happens, you can't do this one thing, any number of things can happen. So
how many times has the couple said, no, we just want to dance? Like they're done with photos.
Like they're so sick of photos. Smiling. Yeah.
That
And
they
then-
cut the family, and we're just like, you need to sign something that says we didn't get these photos.
Yeah, right.
Because it's not going to come back on me that you
Yeah.
decided you wanted to go party and you're not getting a photo with Meemaw.
Right. Yeah. And and that's the thing, we tell our couples all the time, you can, if we're suggesting something, because we're looking at our list and we're making sure we're knocking off all those bullet points that you gave us, and you say no, we take notes sometimes, we send emails as summaries to just be like, hey, this, and this didn't happen.
Yeah, because
but
it's your
not,
wedding day. I'm going to do what you want.
Yes, and that's where it's you get what you give us. We are photographing it. We stage a little bit throughout the day, like we talked about last episode.
Right.
But in the end, what happens that day is what we're photographing.
Yeah.
And if you tell
it's
us
not
no,
a styled shoot.
it's not a styled
Which
shoot.
we're going to talk about more on another episode.
Yep, that is a whole other episode. So until next time.
Night, night. Sleep tight. Dream of churros tonight. That's Danielle's.
What is that?
It's one of my favorite Disney people. She's a Disney historian.
Oh, I love that.
And that's her TikTok ending.
Okay.
It's night, night. Sleep tight. Dream of churros tonight.
I almost said stay sexy and don't get murdered.
Yes. Until next time, guys, where can we find you online?
Everywhere is Jenn Ross Photography or Jenn Ross Photo. So,
and I'm Koontz Photography, and then you can find us at offbeatoutpoint.com. We have a Discord, we have a Facebook group, we have an Instagram. Find us in all the places.
Yeah.
Like us, fave us, send us to people.
yeah.
And until next time, talk to you guys later.
All right, bye.